gas tax relief.
This will remove up to 10 cents per liter on gasoline and 4 cents per liter on diesel fuel.
Why critics are panning the short-term promise at the pumps. Testimony flip-flop. A witness changes his story and admits he only identified an alleged shooter to stay out of jail. And don't run the red no matter what.
They've increased in just where they are in the city. It's become really difficult to avoid them altogether.
A local funeral home decries a lack of ticket exemptions.
CTV News with Stephanie Mazzotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Stephanie is off tonight. I'm Michelle Maluske. It's been a roller coaster ride at the pumps these past few weeks, mostly uphill. But tonight, the Prime Minister is signaling some relief may soon be on the way for drivers. Ottawa is planning to suspend the federal tax on gas and diesel. CTV's Abigail Beeman breaks down what finally convinced the Prime Minister to make the move.
Fresh off 3 by-election wins, Mark Carney's first act as leader of a now majority government suspending the federal gas excise tax.
It's real relief for you and your family at the end of the day.
Starting Monday, expect to see pump prices drop by 10 cents until Labor Day, 4 cents for diesel and aviation fuel also included.
This is a big decision in terms of fiscal expense, and so we balance that given the situation.
The Prime Minister pegs the cost at $2.4 billion, hoping things will improve in the Middle East before the end of summer. The war led to a massive gas price spike.
Not good enough. Canadians cannot afford to gas their tanks. We want all gas taxes eliminated for the rest of the year to save Canadian families $1,200.
It's a temporary quick fix.
This analyst says to lower prices long term, you need to lower demand, which means keeping prices high.
But the federal government has decided to go take the easy route and wave a 10-cent drop in front of the electorate. And good luck with that.
While many Canadians across the country tell us every cent counts.
It's disgusting. Poor people that need their cars to go to work every day or bring their kids to nursery. It's not fair.
Even just like when your car is at a red light for too long, you're like, oh my goodness, my gas is running out.
Oh, bravo to Mark Carney.
Next week is going to be 10 cents cheaper.
Right.
I mean,
that's why I got $15 today. Usually I fill it.
I think it's good, but I think it should be fair all the time.
CTV News also reached out to the airlines, which all say relief is welcome. Air Canada said it can't predict future prices with a volatile Middle East. WestJet said more measures are needed for meaningful relief, while Porter said the drop will have an impact on overall operating costs and be represented as part of total airfare. Abigail Beeman, CTV News, Ottawa.
So what might this mean at the gas pumps across Windsor-Essex, and how are drivers feeling? These are questions CTV's Robert Lothian has been asking today. He joins me now. Robert, what can you tell us about this?
Well, Michelle, Windsor drivers say that any help at the pumps is welcome news. For the past several weeks, they say it's been harder to make ends meet due to more money going to those higher prices at the pumps. Right now, prices are holding steady. Gas Wizard has regular in Windsor at nearly $1.75 a liter, with no change expected overnight. Once that federal pause kicks in, the government says drivers could see about 10 cents a liter come off regular gas, but that's not guaranteed. Any drop could be offset by global oil prices, which have been swinging back and forth in recent weeks. On the roads, drivers we spoke with were split on whether these steps are enough to help ease the burden.
I think that's a good move to try and get people a little bit more at ease considering what's going on. But I don't know. I myself, I personally don't understand why they don't go into reserves or actually don't start a pipeline or start it so that we don't have to be in such a pickle.
That's cool. Thank God, finally. But at the same time, what a privilege to pay the gas prices, even though they're high, instead of being in the war and paying our lives.
Well, it's not much. It's, so does a Labor Day.
Once I hear something like that, I think it's a great idea, especially for the average consumer. And the government needs to do as much as they can for what's happening around the world right now.
Again, that tax break is set to take effect April 20th, so drivers will be watching closely to see if those savings actually show up at the pump. Michelle?
Yeah, that's a great point, Robert. I was thinking about that. That's something we need to do, is we need to go to a couple on Sunday and then go back and double check what happened on Monday to see if it actually took effect.
Will the difference be there is the question,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure people want it to be there. All right, thanks so much for this, Robert Lovely, reporting for us tonight in the newsroom. And we'll get a clearer picture of what's next later this month. The federal minister of finance says the feds will table a spring economic update April 28th, laying out spending plans and what it calls more relief for Canadians. In Chatham-Kent, police say a Blenheim woman has been charged after throwing an ashtray at a neighbor. Officers were called to an apartment building on Talbot Street West Monday night, where it's reported the 37-year-old also threw a security camera, hitting another tenant. No injuries were reported, but the camera was damaged. The woman was found outside in distress, taken to hospital, and later arrested. She is now facing 2 counts of assault with a weapon and mischief. In Windsor, a break-in caught in the act, and this one ends with a canine takedown. Police called to a business on Ottawa Street around 4 Monday morning, finding a smashed front window. That's when Canine Officer Arrow was deployed, quickly tracking down a suspect inside the store. A 31-year-old man was arrested with stolen property recovered at the scene. Investigators say he's also linked to a break-in at the same business just 2 days earlier. Windsor police also saying tonight 2 suspects have turned themselves in after a violent road rage incident. As we told you yesterday, a pair of men were wanted after allegedly ganging up on a driver in a fight on Devonshire Road. That fight was April 2nd and sent a man to hospital with serious injuries. Now, a pair of brothers, 16 and 26, have surrendered. Their identities are not being made public because one of them is a minor. In the courts, a startling turn of events today in the ongoing attempted murder trial of a Windsor man. Fernando Ratcliffe, now 26 years old, has pleaded not guilty to 5 counts of attempted murder. It's in relation to this shooting outside of an East Windsor bowling alley on April 9th, 2022. 5 people were injured, but they all survived their injuries. Today, 25-year-old Andrew Maluske changed his evidence and now says he doesn't know who opened fire from his brother's pickup truck. Maluske says he was, quote, drunk and high that night and blacked out after being involved in a fight inside the establishment. That evidence today is completely different from what he told the court last March. That's when Maluske pleaded guilty to a lesser offense and identified the shooter as Fernando Ratcliffe. Maluske told the judge today he only did that to, quote, get out of jail. Both lawyers and the judge expressed concerns today with Maluske's changing evidence. The judge-alone trial will continue Wednesday. In the downtown core, there's belief from some that there's systemic failure when it comes to open drug use. Critics say police are currently limited in what they can actually do about the issue. And as CTV's Bob Belichico shows us, they'd like to see it change.
I think this is bonkers, and this has to change.
Mayor Jude Dilkens responding to Acting Deputy Chief Ken Cribley's report that painted a picture of police's inability to arrest people for open drug use because he says the courts that oversee drug prosecution have all but decriminalized simple possession use. Acting Deputy Chief Ken Cribley told council yesterday that the most an officer can do is ask people to stop what they're doing and move along. They do not have arrest authority. Dilkens was candid when explaining how tough it is as chair of the police board to not be able to help enforce stricter authority.
It's really hard for me to say they really don't have a lot of tools, a lot of arrows in the quiver to be able to deal with this situation because they don't have support on the end where it matters, which is the court end.
I'm not looking at the person that's suffering from addiction crisis and blaming them. It's not their fault.
Councillor Ronaldo Agostino says there are factors fueling the scenario before the police and drug user interaction, which has helped put communities across Canada in crisis. Those factors include organized crime, sex work, drug dealers, and a system that facilitates the use of pharmaceuticals.
We're allowing those to continue as well, and that can't happen.
Dr. Tarek El-Sayeh, or Dr. T, is an addiction medicine physician who says some rapid access addiction clinics that do not provide the comprehensive wraparound support for patients are helping to fuel the opiate crisis.
The truth is they are not actually taking the medications that were intended to be consumed within the pharmacy or the center, and this is actually making it onto the street.
Where he says the extra pills are being sold in order to buy a stronger fix, which is helping to drive overdoses.
Sending an individual to prison without having the supports to help them break the behavior is not really going to solve the issue long term.
Are we going to take a bold step like Manitoba took, like Premier Wab Kinew took when he said 72-hour mandatory treatment for crystal meth addictions? Because what we're doing right now when it comes to the addictions and the drug crisis on our streets, if anybody tells me it's working, you're lying.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
Another warm, almost summer-like day outside. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins me now with our first look at the weather. Hi, Gary.
Hi, Michelle. Good evening, folks. We're talking about a warm, energized air mass, humid air, a good southwesterly flow. We're in a bit of a break, a lull now, but the next system's coming right over the heart of Wisconsin, headed towards Michigan, eventually us late tonight into tomorrow morning. There's potential significant rainfall. We're talking about a special weather statement saying that this area entirely, southern Ontario, could see upwards of about 30 millimeters of rain in the next 24 hours. I think the next 3 days are going to be rather unsettled, to say the very least. I'll break down what you need to know about rain, thunderstorms, gusty winds, all of it, where temperatures are headed. That's coming up. For now, I'll send it back to you at the desk. Michelle?
All right, thanks so much, Gary. More now on changes to how Transit Windsor is governed. As we told you yesterday, City Council has approved a new governance model that will eliminate the Transit Windsor Board and make the service a full city department starting October 18th. The board was responsible for overseeing transit operations, reviewing detailed reports, and providing a forum for regular public input on the service. Under the new model, that oversight shifts fully to City Council, with transit falling under the city's Economic Development Division following the end of the tunnel bus service. Ward 9 Councillor Kieran McKenzie, who voted against the change, says while day-to-day operations may not change, the level of scrutiny will, with less frequent, more high-level reporting, replacing monthly detailed discussions. He also questions what problem this change is meant to solve.
I think it's a de-democratization of transit services, and I think we've seen trends. We've rolled up the Transit Advisory Board at the beginning of the term, for example. We rolled up the Cycling Advisory Board at the beginning of the term, and now rolling up the Transit Board in Roseland. I think there's a trend here that I'm quite concerned about that is looking to consolidate power.
Windsor's identity has long been tied to the auto industry, but local leaders say the city's future may not depend on any one sector. As the region looks to attract new investment and adapt to changing technology, there's growing discussion about what Windsor could look like decades from now. CTV's Sanjay Maru joins me now with that story. Sanjay.
And it's an interesting discussion when you think about the future, because right now Windsor is known for a few things: pizza, the border, and of course the auto industry. But with new investment coming in and technology continuing to evolve, local leaders are starting to ask a bigger question, this following the mayor's State of the City address last week. What does Windsor look like if it's not always building cars? In the short term, Windsor-Essex has a lot on the horizon: the Nexstar and Mint plants and the spin-off jobs that come with them, not to mention leads on 15 global businesses local officials hope to land. But in the long term, this region, defined in part by its auto sector, may take on a different identity.
We have a skill set in Windsor-Essex that is not matched many places around the world. Do I think that we're building cars 30 years down the road? Maybe, maybe not. Do I think we're building AI robots? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's humanoids.
An unmatched skill set fueled by an ever-expanding population that has led to a need to develop the Sandwich Southlands to accommodate thousands of new homes.
Windsor is making a transition from being a big, small city to becoming a small, big city.
Here at Workforce Windsor-Essex, officials say that transition does not mean moving away from manufacturing, but evolving it, accompanying it with more automation and a shift toward higher skilled, more technical roles. It's estimated around 1 in 4 people in this region work in manufacturing.
50 years from now, we're going to be manufacturing completely different things that we're doing today. Can we make homes in factories? Like, can we, what other things can we make in manufacturing facilities that wasn't possible before?
CEO Justin Falconer says that shift will not be seamless, but Windsor-Essex is well positioned to adapt. He adds the region's existing skill set is built over generations and will remain its biggest advantage even as the work itself changes. And while some repetitive jobs may disappear, new, more complex roles are expected to emerge, meaning the future of work here may look different, but still built on the same foundation.
We've been doing manufacturing for so long. It's in our DNA. Everyone knows someone who works, at Stellantis. Everyone knows somebody who works in Oldcastle.
I think we're going to be able to launch a very, very successful next 5, 10, 20 years of Windsor-Essex economy.
And Justin Falconer, the head of Workforce Windsor-Essex, goes on to say while job losses could result from these changes, there would also be a trade-off of sorts because as some positions disappear, new ones would be created in other areas as the industry continues to shift. He says the challenge will be making sure workers have the skills needed to keep up with all of these changes. Michelle.
It's a very interesting point, and I think that if there's one thing that Windsor does well, it's resilience and thinking, okay, this isn't going to work, let's move to that. So
and tied to that resilience, we're just so used to Windsor being auto. So to imagine a day when we're not, it's hard to imagine, but it looks like we're just ready to make that shift.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for this. Sanjay Mara reporting for us tonight in the newsroom. To Amherstburg now, where council voted to start the heritage designation process for the old General Amherst High School. It all centers around a deadline. Buildings like this one need full heritage designation by 2027, or they could lose protection for 5 years. The owner of the site, developer Peter Valente, warning the designation could put his plans at risk, including 2 mixed-use towers, saying it could scare off investment during a housing crisis. Council was split on this issue. Some worried the project could stall and leave the site sitting empty. Others say this just opens the door to work with the developer, protecting key features like the facade and murals while still letting the project move forward. In the end, a motion to stop the process failed, and council voted 4-3 to keep things going. The final decision on whether to designate still has to come back before council. A Windsor funeral home is reminding drivers that even during a funeral procession, you still have to follow the rules of the road. With more red light cameras now in place across our city, some people are being caught off guard. CTV's Chris Campbell joins us tonight with this story. Chris.
Yes, Michelle, funeral processions are meant to bring families together during one of life's most difficult moments. But in Windsor, that tradition is running into modern traffic enforcement.
At Families First Funeral Home, staff say processions remain a meaningful way to honor a loved one. But with more red light cameras installed across the city within the last year, they're having to adapt.
There's lots of reasons why it's very important. It encourages you to just be present in that moment and have those feelings and prepare yourself.
The challenge? Those cameras don't make exceptions, and drivers following a procession through a red light could end up with a ticket.
As they've increased in just where they are in the city, it's become really difficult to avoid them altogether. And so we've had to make a little bit of an action plan to spread some awareness.
Funeral director Jessica Sylvester says the goal isn't to fight the cameras, but to make sure families aren't caught off guard while grieving.
Our mission is safety. Our mission is awareness. And when families are with us, our window is very small to spread that awareness. They're grieving. They're not paying attention, and nor should they be.
Now, funeral staff are reminding drivers to stop at red lights and rejoin the procession safely.
I think this should be exempt.
For many in Windsor, the idea of stopping mid-procession doesn't sit right, even if it's been the law for years.
You're honoring the person that passed away.
If it's a funeral, they should have the honor to let them go through.
I don't think it's right. I'm against it.
No, of course not. Yeah, they should be excluded from that.
For funeral homes, the message is simple. Even in a procession, safety has to come first.
Yeah, we don't want to ever take for granted that people know what to do, and it's our job to inform them. So again, at Families First, we take that very seriously.
As of this past November, the City of Windsor operates 20 red light cameras at various intersections to improve road safety. The city originally launched the program with 10 cameras back in 2021, and back then Families First was also warning drivers just as they are today. Meantime, we did reach out to the City of Windsor for comment or an interview on how the program is going with the addition, but nobody was available. Michelle?
All right, thank you so much for this story. Chris Campbell reporting for us tonight in the newsroom. And we want to hear your thoughts on this. Our question of the day today is, should funeral processions be exempt from red light tickets? Go to our website to cast your vote, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Yesterday we asked, should businesses have the option to be open on statutory holidays? More than 700 people voted, 72% say yes. Still ahead on Windsor's News Leader, how the province's education changes are shaping up and how our local public board feels about it. Then later, how local businesses are coming together to help kids fight cancer and how you can get involved. The province is moving ahead with a major shakeup of school boards, including new oversight and a shift in who's really in charge. With more, here's CTV's Siobhan Morris.
What are you painting today?
After spending the last year threatening to eliminate elected school board trustees, the Minister of Education instead introduced a bill he says
vastly reducing their ability to disrupt the system, vastly reducing their ability to cause division within the system.
With more scrutiny on expenses, capping pay, and changing responsibilities. Paul Calandra stopped short of axing trustees for consistency and to stay out of court.
No interest in opening up a constitutional fight or a charter fight.
With protections built in for Catholic and French boards, the only board losing trustees is the country's biggest. The Toronto District School Board will drop from 22 trustees to 12. Keep in mind, trustees are sidelined while the board's under supervision, setting up some complicated election scenarios.
If nobody wants to run because the board is under supervision, then that's fine. The ministry has the statutory powers to fill those vacancies, and we'll do it when we think it's necessary to do so.
The opposition leader calls this an attempt by Calandra to make himself
the emperor of education, give himself the ability to appoint, frankly, whoever he chooses, to whatever role he chooses. And that means the appointment, I believe, of more failed Conservative candidates.
The bill splits and renames the role of Director of Education. They'll become the board's CEO, someone with a background in business.
Takes the responsibility for budgeting, the responsibility for management of a board, and puts it in the hands of a CEO.
An educator will take on the part of the job focused on teaching. Calandra says in some cases that work will still be done by one person.
It is not going to solve the crisis. It's only going to make it worse.
What's happening here is bad. It's wrong. They're not focused on the right things.
Education union leaders agree the minister isn't addressing teachers' core concerns.
Class size, class complexity, and safety, but that never comes up. All these other issues are real. They matter, but they are not the priority. They're primarily the result of the issues the minister is ignoring.
They see Bill 101 as a piece of legislation
that is leading to the corporatization of our publicly funded education system.
An approach they say just won't work.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Tonight, the Greater Essex County District School Board says it's aware of the province's announcements, but officials are waiting for more details before they'll comment. Board Chair Gail Hatfield adding trustees remain focused on student learning and well-being as they review the upcoming changes. Turns out, spring and summer curling, not exactly a hot commodity in Windsor. City Council pulling the plug on plans for spring and summer curling after a city report showed just 4 people signed up. The idea came after last year's fire at the WFCU Centre, which forced the city to rethink ice time and try new options. But curlers say by this time of year, the season's over and people have moved on. Keeping the ice in would have cost more than $112,000. So instead, the ice is coming out and the space will be used for summer camps. Sticking to the ice, the Spitfires are taking their perfect playoff run on the road tonight. Windsor in Flint for Game 3, looking to build on a 2-0 series lead after wins at home. The Spitfires taking Game 1 4-2, then storming back Sunday, scoring 3 in the third to steal Game 2. They haven't lost yet this postseason after sweeping Guelph in round 1. And in net, Joey Costanzo continues to shine, named a finalist for the OHL Goaltender of the Year after a record-setting season. Puck drop tonight, 7 o'clock in Flint. And if a burger is your choice of snack while watching the game, you'll want to hear this. A local burger joint now has some bragging rights. Bender's Bar and Grill on Malden Road can now say they've got the best burger in Windsor-Essex after coming out on top in the Rotary Club's annual Burger Battle. The annual event put 18 restaurants head-to-head with voters weighing in after weeks of trying them out. Organizers say Bender's scored highest in all categories, from the bun to the juiciness to the toppings. The competition raised $35,000 for Rotary projects, nearly double last year. Their burger is also Gary Archibald approved after he swung by to get this video for us. Wolfhead Distillery took top spot in the county, while Bearded Dog Brewing in Harrow won for best French fries.
I thank my team every day. We put pride in our food, and we all try to just put out good meals and make people happy with it. So.
Canada's main stock index was up on strength in the technology sector. In Toronto, the TSX gained 223 points, and in New York, the Dow added 318, the Nasdaq also up 455. The Canadian dollar gained more than a quarter cent today, and on commodity markets, gold gained almost $83 an ounce, oil lost $7.80 a barrel.
In some ways, your odds have got worse on that front.
Have new odds made Lotto Max harder to win? Expert insight after the break and weather.
Oh, that burger was so good. I have to say, 100% guaranteed. Thank you, Benders, for that. Hey, Mother Nature, thank you for the warm weather and for the backyard refresh. We thank Plantscape, offering $15,000 to upgrade your backyard. Perfect for serving burgers this summer, I'm sure, on the grill. Send your photo in.
Another beauty, but it certainly is unusually warm for this time of year in the spring. Gary Archibald joins me now with a full look on the weather, wondering specifically, Gary, how much longer these high temps are going to last.
I think for the next 3 or 4 days straight, we will be several degrees above seasonal, Michelle. Case in point today, 27 degrees Celsius. Not a record. The record was set way back in 1883 in the Riverside area of our great city, 30 degrees Celsius. But our average high is 13 on the nose for an April 14th, which is today. Wow, very warm. Humidex values made it feel even warmer. Air quality is good yet again, so nothing to see here. Mixture of sun and cloud through dusk, and still warm. Holding at 26 degrees at 79 degrees Fahrenheit. A mixture of sun and cloud in Windsor-Essex. A bit cooler, but still well above seasonal. 22 or 72 in Chatham-Kent. Hello to our friends there and the surrounds. It feels like 31 in Windsor. It feels 5 degrees warmer. That's 27 in Chatham-Kent. Cooler further north and east of us. The temperatures are starting to rebound across the southern prairies, Alberta into Saskatchewan, Manitoba. It's almost 17 degrees in Regina. That's warm. And we've seen a brush with thunderstorms through the overnight, late last night. Significant thunderstorm activity, in fact. And we could get into a brush with a significant cold front being the trigger through the overnight. Steady flow. Nasty weather coming our way for early Wednesday morning. I think we could be in for 3 to 5 bouts of significant rainfall with embedded thunderstorms over the next 48 to 72 hours. I repeat, intermittent showers, thunderstorms, even heavy bouts of rain over the next 2 to 3 days, starting late tonight. Breakdown works this way over the next 7 days, courtesy of our good friends at Intercare Styles. 24 degrees the high tomorrow. Rain in the morning, pre-dawn. Rain and thunderstorms again in the afternoon, evening. Showers, cloudy conditions Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, with the heaviest bands occurring tomorrow morning. Again, Thursday during the day, and perhaps Friday. Saturday and Sunday, by the way, are both likely to be cloudy and possibly wet. And although temperatures are still warm tomorrow, Thursday 20, 18 on Friday, 19 on Saturday, we will cool down Sunday down to 8 in showers. Flurries maybe on Monday with a low of -1, a high of 9, and then 11 degrees, partly cloudy. It's going to be a wet next several days, that's for sure. That's a look at your weather.
Some businesses across Windsor-Essex are coming together to help kids fight cancer. Paper Heroes Comic Book Lounge is leading the charge, teaming up with the Fight Like Mason Foundation and recruiting local businesses to get involved. It's all building towards Free Comic Book Weekend that's set for May 2nd and 3rd, with a goal of raising more than $5,000 for local childhood cancer support. Businesses from across the region have already donated prizes and gift cards, all going into a raffle to help drive that total up. You'll find raffle ticket information online at ctvnewswindsor.ca. A $25 million jackpot is up for grabs in tonight's Lotto Max draw, and the rules around the lottery have changed. The cost of a ticket has increased, but so have the amount of numbers you can choose. CTV's Colton Weens takes a closer look at what this has done to the odds.
And you'll see on my ticket at the very end there, I do in fact have a 52 in my selection. So I'm hoping that first draw is going to give us one of those new numbers.
University of Waterloo Associate Professor Michael Wallace has his new Lotto Max ticket ahead of Tuesday's draw. And there's new rules in effect that he says will impact how it all works.
In some ways, your odds have got worse on that front. But OLG is trying to make it up to us by giving us an extra line or an extra play per ticket.
On Friday, the cost of a Lotto Max ticket went from $5 up to $6. Each ticket now also includes 4 lines to play on instead of 3, and players can choose a combination of 7 numbers from 52 rather than 50.
The main thing you're probably going to notice is that you do have a slightly higher chance of winning prizes. So mainly that's going to be those smaller prizes like a free play or a $20 win. But your odds of winning any prize are going to increase slightly from about 1 in 7 to, under the new rules, a little better than 1 in 6.
Wallace says those who have a subscription to the lottery may not notice much of a difference.
When we think about this as statisticians, we think about what your expected return is. On average, you're expected to get about 50% of what you spend back in prizes. So for every $100 you spend, the average player will get about $50 back.
And while Wallace believes OLG may see higher revenues from this change, for consumers, he says the game is mostly the same, but the chance of a big win is what keeps people playing.
Myself included. Even as a statistician, I know my odds are terrible, but you can't really resist thinking about that what-if scenario, what if those numbers come up.
Wallace says one of the very few strategic things lottery players can do is try to avoid choosing common numbers.
The one thing you can do, and it's not got a great chance of helping, but every little helps, is try and pick numbers that you think other people won't pick.
Colton Weens, CTV News, Waterloo.
Sometimes we can't tell our story to someone else, but we can tell it through painting.
Ahead, veterans turning to art to heal from PTSD. Check out the new gallery, giving them purpose, pride, and a chance to be seen. The Toronto Blue Jays begin a series against the Milwaukee Brewers tonight.
This one high in the air to deep right field, and all Lucas can do is turn and watch it go.
The team is coming off an 8-2 loss to the Minnesota Twins on Sunday. First pitch for tonight's game against the Brewers is set for 7:40. Kevin Gausman gets the start. The game will mark the start of a 9-game road trip for the Jays. Meanwhile, the Tigers are back home tonight hosting the Royals at Comerica Park. Detroit riding some momentum after a weekend sweep of Miami, scoring 14 runs over the final 2 games. First pitch there is set for 6:40. And speaking of baseball, a Montreal student has found a way to combine his love of the game with his love of math. CTV's Sweeta Rassi reports on a Canadian making history on the world stage.
Involves players' analytics to predict an outcome of a baseball game.
It's a board game that combines baseball and math.
6 and 3, which is 18. No.
And from a Harley Musgrave, those just happen to be his 2 favorite things.
I like timesing, dividing. I like fractions.
It all started when the 10-year-old boy and his father were watching a baseball game at home. That's when a commercial for a board game called MLB Player STEM League caught their eye. It's a baseball-inspired game where players use real MLB statistics to calculate the moves of their roster. Months later, they found out the league was holding its worldwide championships in Miami. Musgrave sent in a video application and got in, becoming the first Canadian ever to compete.
Feels pretty awesome to be like the first Canadian, like to represent the whole country like for the first time in this game.
His dad couldn't wait to share the news.
He was actually in class when I got it, so I actually came to the school to let him know. I was pretty much in tears.
Last month, Musgrave went up against 25 other players. He battled his way to the semifinals before losing by just 1 point. But he didn't go home empty-handed.
So I won the sportsmanship award.
It was a trip full of memories. He met some real-life MLB players, watched the World Baseball Classic quarterfinal, and left with the shirt and ball signed by the pros. Back home, he continues to sharpen his skills.
I'm probably going to go again next year.
And by his calculations, he may be right. Sweeta Rassi, CTV News.
An art gallery has opened up in southwestern Ontario, providing a permanent space for showcasing veteran artwork. It was created through soldiers channeling their experiences with PTSD. CTV's Sean Irvin has more on the fruits of their artistic labor, now available for sale.
As he creates clouds on a canvas, James Agason reflects on how art has helped lift the dark clouds in his life. Like many veterans of the Canadian Army and policing, he lives with the scars of PTSD.
You know, we're human, and we become lost is really what happens.
A little more than a half-decade ago, that's exactly where James found himself.
If I was isolated, like a lot of us were, I drank. I was a mess.
But in 2022, James discovered peace through art. It helped him turn his life around and later the lives of countless others. This door leads to the concept he created in Port Stanley.
Veterans Art Gallery and a wellness center where we help people transition from work life back into civilian life.
The art taught and later displayed here is part of the healing process from mental and physical injuries suffered while in service. Some portraits depict an escape from the past, while others confront trauma.
The pain that's in the paintings. And sometimes we can't tell our story to someone else, but we can tell it through painting.
This veteran has found solace in each canvas.
No judgment, no stories. You can come in. If you don't want to talk, you don't have to talk.
While the Veterans Art Gallery is currently self-sufficient, it needs more funding to expand to meet the growing list of veterans looking to take part. But sales are up, with some portraits going for as much as $4,000. 40% of what's sold here goes back into programs, the rest to the artists who are elated when their work is purchased.
So it brings you that pride. It brings you, your family sees you smile, and you know that helps everyone.
In Port Stanley, Sean Irvin, CTV News.
This is your CTV Windsor Our Community Calendar. The much anticipated Big Brothers Big Sisters signature fundraising event is back in support of Big Brothers Big Sisters Windsor-Essex mentoring programs. See you next time on Our Community.
And it's time to check in now on what's happening now. And Melanie, you have some information for us about an air conditioning theft.
Yeah, that's right. So as the weather warms up, air conditioning is a hot commodity, and now it's part of a police investigation. Windsor police are asking for the public's help identifying 2 suspects related to the theft of air conditioning equipment. At 1 p.m. on March 22nd, 2 suspects were captured on surveillance video at the rear of a business in the 800 block of University Avenue West. Police say the suspects were seen dismantling an air conditioner before fleeing the area with the compressor. We've got the full suspect descriptions online at ctvnewswindsor.ca.
And Melanie, also online, folks will find more information about more construction on Banwell Road.
Yeah, that's right. So the City of Windsor wants drivers to know about the next round of lane reductions as part of that major Banwell-EC Row interchange project. Traffic will be impacted on Banwell Road between the roundabout at Mulberry Drive and Wildwood Drive and the expressway. 1 lane of traffic will remain open at all times in each direction. It starts tomorrow at 7 a.m. and it goes until 6 p.m. on May 8th. We've got more project details on our website. And in our social spotlight tonight, when your teammates share your excitement.
Wrister, rebound, score! Ilya Protas has his first NHL goal. It comes on the power play, and Washington's up by 2.
Love this. Right after Ilya Protas scored his first NHL goal, teammate Alex Ovechkin scooped the puck up to make sure the 19-year-old would have a souvenir from the milestone. And it was the former Spitfire's second NHL game. Big smiles all around, Michelle.
No doubt. We actually got to see the Capitals at Red Wings back in January, and it was pretty neat to see Alex Ovechkin there and to see Protas playing at the same time. And I thought I recognized that last name, and good for him. You want to see that, you know, that they keep going and they keep excelling.
Exactly. And now he has the puck forever.
Yeah. I bet that puck will be worth something, but it probably means more to Ilya, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks so much, Melanie. And that's what's happening now.
Finding out that nobody had ever driven the length of Africa in a 3-wheeler, it really stuck with us.
Still to come, a 3-wheeled punchline turned into a record-breaking ride. How 2 friends drove across Africa and raised thousands of dollars along the way. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald joins us one last time with the final look at the weather. And boy, that 7-day is an April forecast, if ever I saw one.
Well, an April forecast that's warm and above seasonal. Yes, indeed, you are correct. April can be this warm. No record set today, surprisingly, but very close to the human X value this afternoon, 30. Wow, that's warm. Tomorrow, showers early. Thunderstorm potential is significant and considerable. I think it's going to be a very wet, active, windy day. More rain Thursday and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we'll go from 24 tomorrow, 20, 18, 19, then 8 on Sunday. Flurries possible on Monday.
That's crazy.
Tuesday back to 11, which would be more seasonal for this time of the year.
Very quickly, I got to ask, have you ever had the words humidex and flurries in the same forecast?
Yes.
Oh, well,
it doesn't happen often.
But it's happening now.
It's going to happen this week.
Okay. Thanks so much, Gary.
Okay.
Well, finally for us tonight, a road trip like no other, stretching across continents in a car most people wouldn't take around the block. As CTV's Adam Zawatsky shows us, it all starts with 2 friends looking to make history.
After Seth Scott embarked on his first road trip,
I think it's like this freeing feeling of
across Canada and the U.S.,
knowing that you can drive for 10 hours.
He dreamed of doing a dynamic drive that nobody had done before.
Finding out that nobody had ever driven the length of Africa in a 3-wheeler, it really stuck with us.
So Seth and his friend Oliver Jenks decided to drive from London to Cape Town in a 3-wheeled Reliant Robin.
They kind of become the butt of the joke all around the world for being terrible at being a car.
So they gave her a wonderful name, Sheila.
Kind of rhymed with 3-wheeler.
They also set 3 goals: break a world record, document the drive on social media, and fundraise for a charity that helps send the poorest kids in Africa to school.
And you realize how lucky you are, how difficult things can be, and how happy people can be in different circumstances.
Which is why, when countless things went wrong, like when Seth and Oliver suffered debilitating food poisoning, or Sheila's axle broke, transmission died, and engine blew up, they chose to focus on the countless things that went right.
We met some incredible people, and we saw a lot of fantastic and beautiful things. There's something very special about Africa that'll forever kind of have a place in my heart.
And then, after traveling across 20 countries in 4 months, they found out they'd raised $24,000 for charity. And after driving 25,000 kilometers, discovered they broke the world record for longest journey in a 3-wheeled vehicle.
It's still hard to fathom that we actually accomplished it.
But they did. And now that Seth is back home in his 4-wheel vehicle,
it's a Kia Rondo, so we call it Ronda.
He hopes you'll be inspired to overcome every obstacle on the road to realizing your own dreams.
You don't need a $100,000 4x4 to do something. You just need to have the drive and the motivation.
And if, like Sheila, you can transform yourself from the butt of jokes into the heroine of an epic underdog story, all the better. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Saanich.
Another great Adam Sawatsky story.
He finds them.
Right? He's got a real skill for showing a story and making it so compelling.
Right.
So
I will say that vehicle, though, did not look sturdy.
No, it didn't. You're not wrong.
No.
On behalf of our dedicated team here at CTV News Windsor, thank you so much for watching.
For updates throughout the evening, go to ctvnewswindsor.ca.
Carlisle Facette will be back with your only late local newscast tonight at 11.
See you then.